Seated unsteady upon his horse, looking out into the myriad multitudes of men stretching endlessly to the west, Lord Daniel shook uneasily. Seated in his saddle, he was shaken awake by a sudden jolt from the horse he had mounted. It alerted him that, from the masses, an enemy general was making his attack, threatening directly his lordship's right flank contingent. Daniel stood there, frozen, and made no action as his men reflected him in his every uneasy movement. Greater now became his horse's contestation, and again his lordship looked out, awoken from his inaction. Like a gust of wind, the proud enemy general charged in. He raised his lance, a pointing finger of exclamation. "You, Lord Daniel, die this day, as you are beset with cowardice." Like a straight-flying arrow, the enemy general shot through the ranks. Now rearing in a fury to defend its own life, Daniel's horse needed to be contended with. He pulled at the reins to steer out of line with the enemy's attack, but it was no use. His thin, youthful thighs clenched helplessly to the mutual sweat and stink of the horse's ribs, unable to make discussion with the savagery of the beast. And so it was that the man above all men in his regiment seemed to be superior in rank, but in no other way. Again, his lordship was awoken, not through his own volition, but by the contesting of his horse, now pushing aside through his own personal bodyguard to save its life at the expense of its ignorant master. In a great show of force, it heaved up to throw its master toward the ground and into the enemy's spear to meet his well-deserved fate. And so he was looking down into the compacted grass before him when Daniel saw beyond, into the dirt of his own grave. Daniel swallowed his last living breath and opened his heavy eyes, staring headlong into the enemy's spear, which he reached out, now screaming to take his lordship's head from off his shoulders. "No!" a cry from the militia of the regiment. Like a mountain become motion, a young archer boy stepped between the line of Lord Daniel's fate. Hewing haphazardly his side sword into the throat of the oncoming beast, he both startled and dismounted the aggressor general from his expired steed.